Hi. Now, we turn our attention to the law of diminishing marginal returns. The law of diminishing marginal returns. Okay? This is extremely fundamental to the theory of production. Really, it's really the basis of this topic. The law of diminishing marginal returns determines the behavior of costs in the short run. Okay? And the behavior, so in the short run, really, the short run is described by the behavior of output and the law of diminishing marginal returns. But what is the short run? What do I even mean when I talk about runs? Well, the idea of runs is extremely important in economics. This is basically time, okay? Time in economics is divided into the momentary period, okay, momentary period, and then we have the short run and the long run. Okay, so basically, the momentary is just these runs are about how economic agents adjust to changes in economic variables. Say, for example, a change in price. A change in price. Okay. To what extent do economic agents, whether these are suppliers, whether these are consumers, or in the case of the different sectors we are talking about, the government, how do different economic actors respond to changes in economic variables? Say, for example, a change in the price of fuel. Okay, how do they adjust? Right, so maybe that could be a change in price, or it could be a surge in demand. Say demand rises rapidly. For example, in Sierra Leone, close to the period of independence, for example, water, and it's also the period in the dry season when water is really scarce. So a rise in demand. Okay? Someone owning a well, maybe in the moment, if actually a huge number of people come into Port Loko, it will be difficult in the moment for the person owning a well to dig a new well. So they only have to do with the well they have in that moment. But maybe, given a short amount of time, he can adjust more to this rise in demand by, say, maybe contacting someone else who has another well to help him with more water. Okay? Or he could maybe hire a vehicle to go pump some more water and bring it over. Maybe in the short run, that's all he can do. But in the long run, as time goes on, he sees that there is really high demand. He may decide to dig new wells. Okay? So the amount of adjustment that economic agents can take, can be able to perform based on time is what the idea of runs is about in economics. Okay? So like I said, in the moment, all factors of production are considered fixed. Okay? There is nothing you can do. So the only thing, if there is a rise in demand, for example, or maybe say a higher supply, this is only going to be show up as a change in price, right? A change in price. A change in price. If suddenly more people want water, or say cookery sellers, and there is a meeting, government meeting in Port Loko, in one district in Sierra Leone, and lots of people are flooded into the town, maybe the only thing the cookery seller can do is to sell a plate of cookery at a higher price. Because now there are so many people, because of the rise in demand, this can only register as a change in price. But given some time, she may go on and cook more food, okay, to provide more plates, to provide more space, right? In the long run, if this high demand continues, she may even consider maybe buying new freezers for the restaurant, and maybe even expanding her scale of operations, right? So the different runs gives different opportunities for economic agents to be able to adjust to changes in economic variables, such as maybe change in price, a higher demand, a change in supply. Okay, so this is really, really important because the law of diminishing marginal returns is actually a short-run law. A short run, in the short run. In the short run, we consider at least one factor of production variable, right? So this is also here. Let's just make these notes so you know. In the momentary period, in economics, we consider all factors of production are considered fixed. Okay, you can't do anything about them. So changes in these economic variables, a price or demand or supply, is only going to register as a change in price, right? But given more time, in economics, we assume at least one factor of production is variable. Variable meaning you can change it. Okay, you can hire more people to work in your restaurant. You can hire more workers. Often, this factor considered to be variable, especially at this stage, is labor. Yeah? Labor. That is the people you hire to help in the production process, who contribute ideas or their effort to the production process. Remember, we talked about the factors of production. Okay, capital often is the one we consider fixed because in the short run you cannot maybe build a new building or go buy a new freezer, at least. And the idea of runs, remember, it also depends on the production process. On the production process characterizing a different type of business. Okay, so maybe the run for a restaurant selling in a town can be different from a car manufacturing company. Okay, for a car manufacturing company, the run might be completely different. For example, the time they will consider a long run in car manufacturing industry, when they will be able to change a whole factory where they design cars, that maybe can take 10 years, 5 years. So it really takes much more longer. But maybe for someone selling cookery, maybe the long run can just be maybe 4, 5, 6 months. Okay, it depends on the business, right? But the run in economics is just a way of delineating the time with which the economic agent can respond. Okay. So in the long run in economics, we consider all factors variable. All factors variable. You can vary all factors, capital, labor. We often put the factors of production, we class them into two, basically, labor and capital, considering land as a form of capital, okay, and entrepreneurship as a form of labor, all the efforts used in production, right? So the two classes of production. So this is the idea of the runs, right? The production function, often there is a production function. Remember when we were, if you have seen the videos on calculus, a function can represent different things. We may say a function just describes the behavior of variables, right? Maybe we have output. Let's say we represent output with, output. If in this business, the behavior of output is, we say, let's represent labor with L, 2L plus 3K, K representing capital. We say maybe this is how output behaves in my farm, okay? So output is twice the labor that I am putting in plus 3 times the capital I have put in the production. So now I know that how these functions come about is often something that confuses many people. This is a very complicated part of economics. This is where things like econometrics really come in. But this is not at this level. So output Now, so maybe also businesses can see in the past how things have behaved. If you are maybe the type of businessman who keeps note of everything, you'll be able to know how things behave, how your output behaves, right? So now, if I know my output behaves, if say maybe I'm having a coffee shop, I know that the number of cups of coffee, so we say cups, CUPS of coffee is equal to twice the number of people I hire, 2L plus 3 times the number of capital, whether this is maybe freezers or things I'm using in the production process, gas and electricity, we class them all into capital, okay? So now I know that the cup of coffee I'm producing when I hire 3 people and use, say, maybe 10 units of capital is going to be, we say 2 times 3, 6, plus 3 times 10 is 30. So I know now that I should be able to produce 36 cups of coffee in this business. So now I can be able to tell, if I change the ratio of the inputs, what output is going to come out. Okay? This is just a side note. Right? Now we are going to move on to look at the law of diminishing returns. Remember that the law of diminishing returns is a short-run law. Okay? In the long run, all factors of production are considered variable. Right? And as we go through the theory of costs and things like that, we'll be able to have a better understanding of behaviors in the long run. And also, once we've learned about the law of diminishing marginal returns, when we talk about different types of market structures, we'll be able to understand how their own costs differ, how the behavior of output works in those markets. Okay?